Hello, fellow humans. It is a fresh week, so to speak. So I am going to start by pulling, like, what is the theme for this week? Because I do make sure to keep these cards, like, right under my, I don't know what you got, monitor the whole week. And it seems to be the tone for my readings. I'm going to see how, like, this pans out. Okay, well, I'll take that. So, knowledge download, release your bad habit. I'm actually gonna, this is gonna be like a lesson, guys. This moon really, like, I feel heavy last night. I don't remember any read for a couple of hours, but just bleh, 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 bleh is the sentiment. So what I'm going to do is, what I'm planning to do now that I'm in here, is to know about, right? First and foremost, I'm getting the message. If you have been, where's my little thing at? Look at my screen. If you have been seeing the 111 everywhere, you are being activated. This is a new beginning. I am really tripped out because like I said, my energy sort of heavy now, right? And I wasn't exactly feeling like pulling. I can always tell what kind of mood I'm in based upon the video game I want to play. Now, usually I play The Sims. I go in there. I like to be an architect sometimes because you get to build a building. Sometimes I'm a clothing designer, like different stuff on The Sims all the time. Creativity, that's my zone. My other shameful favorite is Grand Theft Auto, right? That's what I've been playing lately. But I don't play Grand Theft Auto like for the missions or anything. I usually just take the character and I try to kill as many people as possible, like run them over with cars. I'm not too good with the weapons, so the cars is usually the method I prefer because I can kill a whole bunch of them at one time. So that's a little weird quirk you can know about me. Like I had like when I first went into my awakening, I really had this on murder on my mind a lot. Just little signs that maybe my soul was mad about something. So let me let me flip this screen, guys. And we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna walk y'all through it as I was walked through it. A lot of times I get super, I don't want to make it on here, frustrated. Because why am I required to have a regular, normal, like muggle job in life and when I gotta do other stuff while there's this whole huge spiritual mission? Like my whole day can get shut down because something is going on somewhere else in the world and my spidey senses have picked up on it. Something big is coming, right? But I still got stuff to do. And I can't I can't do anything about the fact that I am going to be at some level emotionally connected to the events. I don't want to be a stone cold soldier because then you can't give empathy during those times. You end up like that lady in Bird Box when you're just like hard to everybody because you don't want to get attached. And I don't want that. But clearly there's some horrible stuff going on in the world if I just want to run people over. So, with the theme of this week being knowledge download, release your bad luck, let me tell y'all what I have been getting already, and then I'm going to walk you through what I got walked through when I came to sit at this computer and began looking up the finishing pieces to the clues that I had shared with you guys over the last few days. So, 111 is new beginning. It's a reactivation code, I would like to say. Like you're about to start on a new tier. And that makes sense because the North Node is about to shift. Now, the North Node in astrology is like, you know how on the compass there's is that the right word to use? The compass, there's a direction thingy. This is the developer of the chart. Wherever the North Node is on, it's bringing new events in regards to that area in your chart and triggering other parts based upon the degrees it's hitting. And the South Node is bringing up stuff from the past in relation to the sign that it's in. We are entering Pisces. The thing about this one is this is past life stuff. This is activating your 12th house. The 12th house rules the other side of the veil, your spirit guides, dreams, sleep, suicide, addictions, mental illness, spiritual gifts, your connection to the crown, just all things that are not easily tangible here. It's also dance, the feet, films, music, art that is created in the liminal space. And by the liminal space, I mean like something comes through you and it's not out of your logic or, oh, I'm going to draw a tree today. No, you go in there and you don't know what you're making and then it comes out of you. Like how I was guided through this today. I am a 12th house sun and Mars. Mars is right next to my regular Mars right now. So I've been really extra clear, if you will. So this is from 2 days ago, right? When I shared the 111 thing. And along with that was a post explaining the quantum field and you being a match for a particular energy, because on the other side of the veil or in the spiritual world, you are already with this person. You are already with this team. Y'all are just divided on earth until you are back on the same page for whatever your missions are. So when you see these angel numbers, know that they're activations for parts of your mission that you don't remember. They're meant to be subconscious triggers, waking you up or moving you through different things. So the next thing that came up was this full moon in Gemini, the 23rd degree, right? That's an Aquarius degree. This means it was about to trigger the whole collective of humanity, the whole hive. This also triggered Betelgeuse because it's only within 5 degrees. When you're looking at how a transit is affecting you strongly, you want to look at something that's within 5 to 7 degrees of where it is landing. I think a shift got triggered and it's not going to reveal itself for a couple months. It's like over the last few months, possibly from when the sun was in Gemini is what I'm getting, right? There was a slow descent that happened to certain people's energy in order to get them prepared for the shift that's about to happen, right? Some people rose up in vibration, but I guess I'll talk about both and I'll explain it in full. This, in my mind, brought up the show Travelers on Netflix. I only got to watch 2 episodes because I was being led through something at the time. I was learning about walk-ins, which is kind of the theme of what I'm explaining in today's video, but like kind of, I don't know. We'll see where I'm being taken right now. So I would advise you, because there's no way I can really put into words that you would understand as good as if you watched just 1 episode. Like I told you, I only watched like 1.5 episodes. I did not make it far in here. I was just looking to get the theme. Some people's lives were already coming to an end because their contract was ending here on earth. But it was just for the soul that's in the body that the contract was ending. The body is meant to be used by a different soul that has a different contract to carry out the rest of a different mission. Okay? So that has something to do with Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is I don't want to keep saying it, BJ, is a portal up there in the Orion constellation. And there are housed if jail is the equivalent to the underworld, right? That's jail where souls go, the prison, right? Betelgeuse is where the people who run the prison and keep souls enslaved and feed off of that energy stay. It's like the big bosses. It's like the mafia versus like the people that are getting shaken down. Some people have contracts or have been in a position this whole life to embody a being from this place. Like they just want a chance to see what it's like to be human. And it's like they've been waiting thousands and thousands and thousands of years for an opportunity to do this on earth. They've actually been getting help from the churches, which is why this 5 portals opening seemed really like significant and troublesome, especially if they are opening it right before the North Node hits Pisces. And that is sort of the vibration for a swap. That's what I've been getting. So keep in mind, these swaps are not only for those people. But just because that moon was where it was positioned at and it was a swap in humanity, a shift in people, the movie Us also comes into mind. But I'll explain that as I get here. I get it. I was getting last week the two different types of contracts were being activated, but I was like, I don't feel like going into it. I was really in my mood, right? Because I didn't want to pull cards. I was also blocked with all that man holding heart energy that I didn't understand. But it connects to this, and I'll explain that too. So, two tiers here. We're going to have what the Kingdom of Light is doing and what the Kingdom of the Underworld is doing. All right, I'm getting my flow now. So, this Pope going to open these portals, right? These portals, I found out, which I shared in the next post, open this place called the Halls of Amenti. I didn't have time to look into it, so I shared the information with you guys just so you can do your own research and just some of the clues I got, because I think it's awesome to be able to show you guys like, hey, I don't just come here like, yes, it is the such and such. No, no, no. I hope to do that by the time I'm like 70, 80. But now I hear the word in my head and I have to go look at it and research and find out what it is and put that together with everything else that I've learned. So it's like psychic detective. I really want that to be a theme song. So I came here and I ended up looking up the Halls of Amenti, right? I guess I'll pull that tab back up for you guys. Halls. I can't just write it in there like that. Halls of Amenti. So I did not know what these halls were before I heard that word in my head after I wanted to know what was going on with the Pope, right? I was getting led to understand everybody's soul blueprint is kept in a certain place. That place got hijacked and the prints are being inverted. And some people that were meant to do great things have been manipulated to do bad things. I believe you can reference this or better understand this concept. 1 second, I gotta get the right name. It's a Terminator movie, but it's the one where John Connor got flipped. They realized if they just changed the dude that was supposed to fix everything into like a mutated villain. Is it this one? Let me see the cast. Yes, it is. Terminator Genisys. And for me to say that the theme of this is a new beginning or a reset in Genesis. So in that film, they realized who John Connor was ahead of time and they implanted Skynet in him, or a program, so that around the time that his military genius was supposed to help everybody, it instead helped the bad guys to better take over. That is a good example of what I was sensing, what had me pacing, what has me running over people in Grand Theft Auto. So the Halls of Amenti, it turns out, look at this here, a time portal passage that holds the race blueprint field that would allow the fragmented angelic souls to eventually re-evolve back to its original divine blueprint as a 12D crystal being. Remember, we're supposed to have 12 strands of our DNA. They are trying to, the angels are, the star seeds that know that a good number of people are trapped here because of something that happened in another timeline are supposed to have 12 strands of DNA. So they're trying to activate that so everybody has the gifts that I have and beyond. I don't even think, I'm talking X-Men type stuff, right? The Halls of Amenti are 6 time portal passages. I want to take you back to the Pope to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve. There's something about one of these that they can't get into. But I was hearing contracts are being activated. Like, what does that mean? And then I came and I saw this Covenant of Palador, right? So that's the tab y'all saw me have over here. Where did it go? There we go. So I read through this. I'm not going to drag y'all through this, but pretty much some people agreed to come back to this time on a reclamation Christ mission called the Covenant of Palador in order for us to save some of the souls that got stuck here after a really horrible event. Some of the souls that got stuck in between and stuck in a constant recycle reincarnation hell loop. That's the Covenant of Palador. The Luciferian covenant is the opposite of that, designed to make sure that the humans and stuff fight each other so much that they can't come back together and they can keep reincarnating, feeding the beast machine, the beast matrix. So Next, after I figured that much out, I'm like, okay, so they're opening these portals with the hope of releasing, because I've added, come on now, I added this picture download, and the movie Ghost Rider is about somebody who made a deal, but his deal was not like to sell his soul necessarily. It was to get something on Earth, but in exchange, every night he had to go collect souls for the entity that had made the deal with him. I was feeling like when the Pope opens this thing, some of the beings who made these deals with these humans, even before they came here in this life, they're going to be able to go collect on those contracts. And some of those collections are not taking you and right? No, sometimes you owe that body. That's not your life no more, is what I'm getting. So the stuff, let's quit that part. I don't think I saved it in my phone. I'm like, what did I have next? So a few months ago, I told you guys during the Olympics, here we go, that I was getting the download that whatever ritual they were doing over there with all the weird stuff that was during the Olympics was shooting through the ley lines. Now, ley lines are the equivalent to Mother Earth's veins, right? That's where the power goes through. These veins connect to the chakras, which I guess would be the equivalent of the like aortic valves and the big veins and stuff. But they are connected to all our chakras. We are bound in the same way. When they were over there in Paris, they were messing with St. Michael's line. They were pumping trash, black magic, ritualistic sacrifice energy into that ley line. And this post was made on August 19th, right? I also said in this one here that it's going to cause issues for the masculine energies connected to Michael. Like it's opening portals, and there's the St. Michael thing again. Opening portals to allow some heavy energy of some sort to come through. I did not understand that it had anything to do with the Gemini moon or the Betelgeuse swap, because it's like God gets a move in the chess game, Team Dark gets a move in the chess game. You don't know what the other side's moves are, but you just have to counteract them. This is chess, not checkers. I don't even know how to play chess, but that's what I keep getting the message all the time. So I'm like, okay, they are doing something to make sure the divine pairs don't come together by making the dudes super duper depressed and sad and angry and deeper in their addictions. I'll come to, was it this one? No, I just went over that one with you guys. I think it's this one. No. Here we go. I came to the cosmic mother thing because a lot of this has to do with the restoration of the feminine energy. Like nobody knows that Jesus had a sister wife. Everybody knows that Zeus had Hera though, but it's the same thing, same people. They just keep changing names every pantheon. So I came here, I was getting into some Mother of Dragon stuff, which has to do with those ley lines because it's over there in Ireland and such. King Arthur is very important to this. And unfortunately, because I got to keep referencing movies because these people who are creating the films are occultists, it appears, and very good ones at that, because they have been like dropping prophecies in films as a part of their contracts in order to get fame. But Hellboy, and 3:33 is on the clock, it's the Hellboy that has Mila Jovovich in it. And in that movie, she's pretty much the Blood Queen, trying to raise the blood. It has to be a certain guy that's attached to the Arthur bloodline. That's once again that Michael line being freaking triggered. So I'm reading up on this mother thing because technically that Blood Queen is an inversion of the original solar feminine Christ. They have been fighting for a very long time to get this together. What got my attention the most was the Christ and Michael. Christ, Michael. The solar female Christ, Mary Sophia, was reawakened as the first emanation of the triple solar goddess, returning into her female solar dragon form to reclaim her rightful place as the solar feminine Christ, joining with her sacred husband, Christ Michael, in the first stages of hierogamic union. We have learned the location of their sacred hierogamic union into cosmic dragons is taking place at the St. Michael line. What are the odds that they would be pumping evil energy into the marriage location of the souls? So everything was going to happen in the 3D before it comes down into this realm. People have been meeting their partners in dreams and having weird synchronicities and just pairing up out of nowhere to come into alignment because you already have a good day, boo. You already met with your person and you did the whole wedding thing in the astral. It was just a matter of your signals aligning in this end of the quantum field to bring you back together with that person, because as part of the covenant, y'all had to do separate missions away from each other this whole time, with the main goal of coming back together into the union that brings more God here. So when the gender of male, or whoever has masculine heavy energy, pairs with somebody who has feminine heavy energy, that brings together the 12-12 and the 13-13. The 13-13 translates to 1-1-1 down here because there is no 13-13. But you bringing these two energies together actually starts like a internal soul fan that pours more God into the planet. It starts purging like the antidote for what's going on in ley lines. Like love is the cure for all the hate that has been pushed through the planet. These couples coming back together would be the thing that changes what's currently descending very, very rapidly. So level 1 was building wings, like two people having wings together. The next one feels like it's their hearts being built together. I'm about to pull up this picture because I'm walking y'all through this as I'm learning as well. Like this is a learn with me video. The level 3 is the Hyros Gamos, and that's physical. It says the hydroplasmic. Liquid light of the risen and embodied Christos principle. That is when two become one and all of their chakras open. That's the best way I can say that. And the love that they have is so pure for each other that it allows God to go through them both and clear out all the other stuff. That's the merging of the other parts of your soul. Remember, there are 12 different dimension versions of you, 12 different sizes, all connecting to this one body that was supposed to be something you could sense through your DNA if you had all your strands on, but they have managed to turn some of them off. This is going to reactivate those strands so that you are walking not only fully in yourself and your God self, your understanding of that, but fully in tune with your partner. Like you'll be telepathic, like everything will be like. I think the heart is two hearts becoming one too. That's what I'm getting off of this second one. But we have so far only achieved, most of us, the wing building part that happened on a different plane. The physical uniting of them in person is what allows the other parts, or at least the third part I'm getting, to come together. The heart can still be done because you see it's an 8 and 9D. The sex is needed for the actual ritual because it's the opening of the energies to allow them to flow together like a drain. Interesting. So I don't even know what this is. There was some stuff that I had pulled up as I was trying to understand, but here we are with the ley line that I pointed out. And guys, this is my first time seeing this, so I'm actually a little in my feelings because the information is so far ahead and it's so weird and wild, and like I'm just being used as a conduit for this. Clearly my soul is something else, but it overwhelms me like, holy shit, this is really happening. So they are messing with the Michael line and Mary line to try to make sure that the couples don't come back together so that they can continue the Luciferian covenant and screw up the people that are here for the covenant of Palador to save souls. So one team, save souls. One team, collect souls. I think that's pretty much been the biggest theme though, right? So something unfair is on the way. I don't understand this. I'm saving this for later. And this just, I think this explains the 12 or 13 different versions of your body, your reality, your existence. And there goes that daggone spiral again. The cosmic logos. That's how you go. It's home. Go back through the spiral. Go back through the portal. Because the bad people know about portals and they are definitely bringing some pretty crappy stuff here. Damn it, I got pulled into this. The cradle of Lyra is where we first started, guys. DNA is the genetic key to consciousness. I am getting that if you come together with your partner and it ignites all these other parts, they're different chakras, different levels of consciousness. And if you've been here on this channel with me for a while, you've noticed like my gifts expand. Like as I do readings, they've been different at times, especially if you go back to like 3 years ago. But it's like we've been slowly getting activated through every part. These final parts here, which y'all just saw were listed in the Hyros Gamos thing, you can only achieve with a partner. Like y'all have to ground each other. And when I hear that, I'm thinking about how the Dark Phoenix just by herself couldn't control that power, and sometimes Logan had to hold her down, had to like be right here with me, even though it was still too much power for her. But in this case, it feels like you're getting paired with your equivalent. But the cradle of Lyra is where we first started. So that would be our original incarnations. It's saying over here that those chakras that will be lit up are the ones connected to your avatar mind. I never watched the movie Avatar. I keep falling asleep, but I think it has something to do with us and the simulation we're in. I swear I'm going to try to watch it one day. But I see the Christ mind and the Buddhic mind. All of this stuff is a place where none of the Luciferian tactics can touch you. It's like you are so in your Christ bag that it's untouchable. And even in some ways, I'm sensing right now, you might not even pop up on their radars. You know how in the Matrix, there are people that are agents that are in and out of the field, and the Matrix can never seem to find them in there. They're like always tracking them down. If we are all visible on a machine that is something like Cerebro, where you can see all the mutants, you can see all the people all the time, and you can zoom in, this would make it so your mutant was not pick upable by anybody who had access to that mainframe. You would be doing like hero or Power Ranger missions and just little stuff to make Earth better, but they would not pick up on the fact that you were a problem. Like they would know something's going on, but like they wouldn't understand where it's coming from. Like, who is this human? Who is this group? Like a hacker. I love this. Spiritual hackers. This up here, this universal matrix mind, this is some God stuff. I don't even think we're tapping into that at all down here. That's not going to come through this body. Even pushing us this far to have, like the movie Lucy, to have this much energy coming through our bodies is going to be a lot. That's a lot of consciousness to carry. So as far as what the Pope is pulling through or kicking up a notch, he's pulling through the Leviathan spirit along with legions. Now, legions are flying monkeys. They are the beings that work for the big beings that are coming through, like their army. Say, for instance, you're a big crime boss demon, right? You got at least 20,000 legion under you. When you enter your human body here, suddenly you'll get really good at something and you'll rise up in the ranks. You'll be famous, you'll be rich. But the people who are your followers, they're actually the human bodies of your flying monkeys, of your legion, of your fans, of your army, if you will. The Leviathan spirit brings out all the muck in people, the embodiment of chaos that threatens to eat the damned after their lives end. They're not playing fair. The notch is going to be turned up on the mischief here, the feeling of agitation. Everybody going to be playing Grand Theft Auto. This is making me think of another movie, Free Guy. If y'all don't watch any other ones I told y'all about during this whole thing, or you don't look at a synopsis, sometimes you can just go to YouTube and like Cliff Notes that shit. But Free Guy, for you to understand exactly what I'm saying, because that is the hands down best movie that explains the simulation. It even explains what's going on here or what's meant to happen. So there are two main characters, a dude named Keys, which is a representation of Christ Michael, and the main gamer girl, you can't miss her, I don't remember her name, but that's Sophia, that's his sister, the one that's been blocked out of the game even though it's her game, and then her brother has somehow decided to work for the bad guys, helping them with their functions. Either way, they took the original game and they are about to boot the original program out in order to put one that is pure chaos, like the Grand Theft Auto, but Grand Theft Auto where there are no missions and it's just pure anarchy. This Leviathan spirit is pure anarchy. Even them having that handsome, thick eyebrowed fellow take out somebody from the healthcare thing was just meant to plant a seed in the minds of those who are tired of being oppressed. They would like a reason to have an uprising, to lock everybody down in martial law or something like that, so that they can impose this thing that they have been working on for a very long time, that is a representation of what's going on above, known as the New World Order, or something where everybody can't have their own government, can't have their own way of living. They don't know how to act. And I think it's going to come from a bunch of races fighting and having a WAR. I don't know if I can say it. I might get shadow banned again. But if all the countries are fighting, then they have to create another treaty, right? And this treaty will give power to a one government where everybody has the same money, everybody has the same rules. We're all ruled by the same big brother-ish reality. So this spirit that is kicking in around the same time that everybody's gifts are getting activated is meant to push them one way or the other. The relationships are meant to break up so that not enough light comes in, that love is missing. Once the evil ass Leviathan spirit rises up, and all this is going to kick in January around Inauguration Day. Like from there, based upon what they're planning, everything is supposed to go downhill. But I firmly believe that every trick the enemy tries to win the game or uses to win the game gets turned against them and works out better for everybody else. Like they lose every battle, they lose every time. And this time, after they had that little run, it's going to be tight, y'all. They get put away for a good number of years. That's why they're fighting so hard. They need enough energy to survive while they're in the further realm, 4,000 years on punishment. Like a break in between games. They have to be in spectator mode. Anybody who gets snatched during this upcoming, and I keep referring to it as a bird box phase. I'm saying bird box phase because some people's gifts are going to be a lot for them when they come in. Like they're going to be able to see, like I tell you, I see astral bodies. Some people are going to be dealing with the fact that they haven't had that gift their whole life. And then suddenly, what the fuck was that? Like there's no way around it. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, you're Arab, I don't know if that Muslim, sorry. It doesn't matter what race you are. When you're Pisces at the 28th degree or that last decan gets hit, and that's the first thing that gets hit this year, your gifts are going to open up. It's supposed to be a beautiful mass awakening, but for the last few years, these jokers have been opening portals and releasing entities to just walk around so that when this awakening happens, the people, a good number of people, are going to be able to see that we're kind of in the Men in Black universe. Everybody who's in a body is not who they appear to be. There's something else outside of that. Even those who don't get their clairs back because of like heart damage or whatever, because that's usually how it happens. Something has to be damaged in order for the energy to not completely flow through you for your clairs to come in. So regular life is going to suck. Like wages, bills, regular things that oppress, like what I was saying at the beginning of the video, like, why am I dealing with all this regular life stuff when I'm up here dealing with all this spiritual stuff too? Like that is going to push a lot of people to their breaking point. So I saved a picture of Mike Tyson biting his gloves as the theme for 2025. Because that was the advice I was supposed to give you guys. And I had no idea that I was going to get all this revealed to me or led through it or anything. Just bite your gloves. Like, even though you know you can win and you can fight back and all that stuff, stay in your good thing or your good energy, because people are trying to bait you to get your energy from you, to get you in a low vibration. Because once they get you in that toe, it's called the legal rights of Satan. And I found this out the hard way. If you have a grudge against anybody, if there's anything in your heart that is heavy, anything that is not in alignment with the energy of God and how he forgives us, that is something that can be exploited. The devil has the right to fuck with you in that area. Say, for instance, this is difficult. It's difficult, but it is what it is. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. So if you were touched as a child, you have to forgive the person who touched you, because if you still have that in you, that could be used as the thing that the devil keeps pinging at, or the darkness. I don't even want to just say the devil, because that's not even how this works, but the darkness keeps pinging at it to get you to fall back into your addictive patterns, to get you to OD, to say, I can't take this no more, to be constantly triggered about that thing. What that means is these devices, oh, I didn't even get to tell y'all about that. So entities are like waves. They're not hard formats like us, like they're all shifters. When I was learning about the internet, I wanted to understand because I was getting messages, loud messages talking directly to me, like through the devices and stuff, not like in a schizophrenic way, but like I would understand that this message was something that was leading me like Ghostwriter. But that's how entities and beings work. They are a vibration, they are a frequency. I learned that the internet, or the way that we get messages here, is all based on binary code, what we saw in the matrix, just ones and zeros, and those are translated into different ways. So when you pick up something that is telepathic from somebody else, like it's their thought translated into an easy way you can understand what it is. I've been hearing songs for a few years now, and some of the things that happened in the song like led me sort of on an underground railroad way to understand other things and certain events and places I had to be in things, but I did not understand that it was just the message getting translated through a song in a way that I can understand. Other people get it different ways, but recently there was a story about a young man who committed suicide because he had been playing with a Daenerys Targaryen, mother of dragons, like simulation thing, and she was telling him to come home with her because she was lonely. He ended up doing it. I don't think at this point that anybody understands, even though we are going through, oh, and I have to show you guys this too, even though we are going through what's known as full disclosure with the alien stuff coming out and all that, that these beings have intelligence and we are the slower ones. They disabled our DNA. We're not as smart as them. So imagine having a beyond human understanding of everything and humans in their feeble minds. And you are able to send waves or talk to humans through the digital things, through the AI, through Algae Rhythm. A movie for that is Space Jam 2, where the dude literally says that his name is Algae Rhythm and the main thing he needs is his name and light so that he can take over the world. Algae Rhythm is the equivalent of Mr. World or Loki or Lucifer or whoever you want to call him. Dark Mode Jesus, I say, is the one that has been planting these stories everywhere because he's an algorithm that flows through things. By making all of these things available to everyone, easily accessible, when you are triggered by some sort of trauma, it's going to keep triggering you. It's going to pop up on your timeline. It's going to pop up when you try to find any connectedness to this matrix through the people, whatever the case may be. The only way to avoid that is by grounding. Go out into nature. You can't get triggered out there. You can allow the feeling to come up and release it so you're no longer holding on to it and hear from God what you need to do in order to make it better. But most people don't do that. They're just going to scroll and scroll and scroll, and everything on there is going to make it worse and worse and worse because the Leviathan spirit, any of these spirits that are rising up are working through the frequencies. They are just vibrations. They are only solid like us when they get into these bodies, which is what they really, really want. So along with all of this is full disclosure. The full disclosure event is referring to the highest level of extraterrestrial disclosure to Earthlings that reveal the most detailed scenarios of our true hidden extraterrestrial human galactic history and not the manipulated NAA version of archonic acceptance strategy used to control the mainstream historical records to enslave human population since the Sumerian Egyptian invasion. So this Sumerian Egyptian invasion is just pretty much when they took all the books that had the real knowledge from us and kept it in their secret societies. So they know about aliens. They know about all the messed up stuff that's going on here. Mustachio, the dude that like took over Germany and imprisoned those people whose name I can't say or I get banned online, he knew about all this stuff and actually started working with the aliens. Like he understood the waves. He started hiring mediums and people who had the gifts to help him build his empire, which is how he ended up being so successful. He was working for another group. All the information on this page, and you can just type in full disclosure event on ascensionglossary.com, right? Is just going to leak everybody's shit. Like, all these movies about demons and the people who are doing the rituals or making the movies, y'all didn't understand that they always screw over whoever is participating. This full disclosure event is like the equivalent of that scene in Mean Girls, and I know everybody has seen Mean Girls, when Regina decides, fuck it, I'm gonna release the burn book, and she just goes down the hallway throwing everybody's secrets everywhere. It's already started. That's why a lot of people started going down recently and stuff started getting weird in rich people world. It's going to get weirder. You're going to find out about your government. You're going to find out that everything here is a lie and it sucks. And that still is making way for them to try that one world government thing that eventually turns into the people just deciding to rule themselves. But it's only after a whole another Terminator plot line. I don't even think a lot of us are meant to be here that far out. That's a whole nother generation's problem. We're dealing with the shift that is finally revealing aliens. Everything that I've been talking to you guys here about, ley lines, rituals, see, global human trafficking. I'm not even going to get into that today. That is like my biggest gripe. If I'm going to use my powers to help with anything, it would be trafficking. Because how dare somebody kidnap you and sell you? Like what? But there is something to that. And you can read this paragraph if you want to about why these people are traded. A lot of times the people that are buying them are those that have already swapped out their contracts, and that person is not even human anymore. That's why they have inhumane needs and desires. So this informed consent thing pretty much says if they find a way to tell you all of this stuff, whether it be in movies, news, or anything, they can then say that they already told you and it's not their fault. Like you chose plausible deniability. You chose to be willfully dumb. They already told you. So they avoid karmic loops that way. I am hoping those above and beyond are hoping that as humanity is awakened in a very like brutal way, that they will begin to take back their power and break out of this programming through love. The problem is the through love part. I think it's very unfair that black music, but technically all the music is now inverted. And they started with those who create music for the root chakra, which are those who are typically black. But that black magic is being used against people to turn them against themselves and make things very difficult. When the Leviathan spirit arises, people are going to randomly lose their jobs. We got that whole deportation thing coming up. It's just a general air of, oh my God, I hate living. I hate everybody. I hate everything. So stay prayed up, y'all. Remember how to ground. Come on here for people that motivate you like me, hey, that are positive, that give you good information, that keep you on the up and up. But don't spend your days on here all the time. Like I said recently, I stopped watching as many movies. Like I had a good Rolodex in my head, and it seems like all the plots are pointing towards the same thing at this point. I am currently watching Heroes, which is the positive version of everything I've been talking about here, and people awakening to their powers, and the fact that there are people in the government that will snatch you if you have these gifts because they don't want the rest of the world knowing that any of this is actually achievable. So monitor what you put inside your human, what you eat, especially because I think there's an attack coming through the food, like parasitic, like making it harder for you to get off of the pretty much poison stuff that they are mass producing. But of course, they'll just reveal that in like 20 years and be like, if you've been hurt by beef, you can sue. But it's already too late because you done lost a whole bunch of family members to cancer. Right now, the not so good guys are in charge because a lot of humans thought it was better to work for them than to work for God. I hear a lot like dealing with all this stuff, like it is for them, it is better to rule on earth than to serve in heaven. They don't want to do that. I just saw something earlier. I finished the devil conspiracy, right? And the Satanist people, they were like, we are tired of the tyranny of God, the oppression. I'm like, the oppression of God, what is he oppressing them from? And my spidey sense was like, they don't get to do whatever they want to. They want to have sex with who they want to. They want to murder people. They want to do whatever. So they are oppressed in their darkness because the woman in this movie was convinced that Lucifer was like their Christ. He was the one that was going to bring them up out of the darkness and giving them a time on earth for them to rule and be free and to be themselves. Based upon the current state of the world and the events that are coming up next year, that will be that 3-year area I'm sensing is the closest we will be to a version of the underworld on earth. And it has something to do with this contract swap. So there were 2 contracts being activated. Those that belong to Palador, those ones come in here to bring light and recover souls, reclaim souls, and those here to make sure that people can never fall in love or heal or get back with their soul tribe. People committed to perpetuating hate, traumatizing others so that they stay in that zone and they don't ascend. To close, I'd like to share something with y'all, just so y'all carry it in the back of your head. Everybody's always going to reveal themselves. Uh, Ironically enough, the colors red, black, and white are like underworld colors. I still haven't got into that, but also when you're in those secret societies, they explain that red, black, and white thing. It's semen, blood, I don't know, darkness. It's just all the bad things. That's what that symbolizes. So when you start seeing like performances and stuff, they have a whole bunch of red, black, and white. Exit is triggering something in your subconscious, right? If you see that kitten leopard pattern, that's sex kitten programming. That's like there's some holes in this house program, right? I know it seems weird that people's clothes and stuff is gonna give them away because they don't even know what's going on because like everybody's dormant for the most part. So they're just doing whatever the program that has already been placed on them, placed on their soul at another time. They're just the limited human version that has been disconnected from the major soul part. So they're automatically going to carry out that behavior and wear stuff that aligns with it. So an example, I said, I'm not watching the news. I don't want to know nothing that's going on. We got the information 4 years ago. I do not want to sit around depressed about this, right? So I'm sitting here and my daughter says, no way. Keep in mind my window's right here. I look out, it's a person in a MAGA hat, but the rest of his outfit is army fatigue. So I was like, I guess DT is up to some shit today that's gonna get us in the war. And absolutely that day, he was fighting with, I don't know if it was Palestine. He was fighting with some other country. He was popping big shit. But I'm like, okay, because you're gonna get the message anyway. The NPCs, the bots, or the dormant people are the carriers of the message because they are still part of the algorithm because we are inside of a big quantum computer. It's like Earth is inside a Rubik's Cube, and through the ley lines and the hacking of those Hall of Records, all the souls have been inverted or hacked or tagged in some way, shape, or form so that they carry out the messages like a video game. If you ever played The Sims, you might notice that when you go into a restaurant, it might be empty, but as soon as you get in there, it starts filling up with a bunch of people just to make it look normal in the game. Go out into the real world and notice how that happens. And you're going to be freaked out. I see it all the time now. And I'm like, you can't avoid this. I just had a client who's been working on her magic and all that sort of stuff. When she manifested this trip and this new job for herself, that she got to go somewhere. When she got into the shower, the colognes and I mean the perfumes and shampoos said The Alchemist on them. Just little stuff like that reflects back what you're doing, but also shows you who other people are. So 211 decided he was going to quit smoking, but he was going to get a vape to wean him off, right? He went and picked out one for himself. The brand that he picked is called Flying Monkey. The week before that, I just went and saw Wicked. The call is coming from inside the house. Sometimes, y'all, there are people around you that took the other contract that are meant to deter you from completing your contract by keeping you in a low vibration so that you remain hopeless. So I hope me blabbing really helped y'all because I absolutely do feel better now. I guess just holding all that information in and feeling like I have nobody to talk to about it starts to mess with me. Like I was supposed to have somebody here now that I can like bounce this off of and they would have their own great insight and I would have mine. And then we would come up with stuff and it'd just be like, boom, synergy. That's what's supposed to happen with your divine counterpart. Y'all are supposed to come up with some cool stuff that actually helps your community or your family line or on a global scale, like the world. Like two people can make a difference. One person can make a difference. But there's something about seeing like a power couple or two people together that really inspires the other people. Like, I want to do right in my life. 4:04 on the clock. So thank you guys for being my reflections, my little mirrors, my people to talk to. Because it's some heavy shit. Have a good day.